in Modern, by and large, are very bad. I think this hand's really bad. Speaking of things that are bad, it's just like a bunch of lands and mana creatures. Like, this deck has a lot of cantrips in it, so it's pretty tough to... This hand is kind of medium. I'm gonna bottom a Silence here in the dark. We're gonna go Breeding Pool, Bird, go. Just wanted to say, put these towards the elf deck. Is there an elf deck in my queue? I honestly don't know. As a heads up for people that want to cheer bits for things, I don't log bits that are less than 100 bits or $1 donations, just because I have to add up fractional things and it gets messy and annoying. All right, Amulet. This matchup's probably not bad for us. I think our linear draws are a little bit faster than theirs consistently. I'm gonna shock this in and play. Maybe I just wasn't gonna play both these birds. Would love a Serum Visions. I think I might hold one of these birds to loot away. We're just looking for an Ascendancy at this point. Peace, Saw 3. Have a good one. I'm just going to double bottom here. I think I would like a more powerful cantrip than that. Just need a Jeskai Ascendancy and then some spells to loot through. A little bit flooded here. In my 16 land deck. Well, like I said, we're consistently a little bit faster than them. Probably not when they have double Amulet. That's true. I do love me some Birds of Paradise. This is an Explorer. He's getting killed on turn 2. I guess we can't really complain because we're looking to turn 2 people. I'm going to concede to a Titan here. Welcome to Modern. Welcome to Modern. Welcome to Modern. Welcome to Modern. And that game there was a good example of why my teammates are gonna let me play this deck this weekend. Because, like, even if you're playing like a good deck in Modern, there's plenty of times where that just happens to you and you just die. And that's just how the format is. Regardless of what you're playing, sometimes you just fucking die. That's just how the cookie crumbles. It's just how the cookie crumbles. Jace and Stoneforge, yep. And yet, there are people who like to tell you that other things are too good for... I think I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this. You did miss the dice deck. An EP, I have no idea. I think I probably want to just Sylvan Caryatid onto... I guess I could Manamorphose here, or we could just draw the land like a motherfucking professional. I'm boarding in Silence in this matchup because it's basically Time Walk. It's also very good when you can just respond to your opponent's what's it called? You can respond to, well, that should be lethal next turn, right? Just gonna go top here. So Silence is basically Time Walk in this matchup. You just like upkeep, cast Silence. All right, my turn. All right, good, kill you. My argument was never that Delve creatures were too good for Modern. My argument was that if Delve creatures are fine, then the other Delve spells should also be fine. You can also like silence them in response to a Summoner's Pact, which is great too. Just like, yeah, like Mephisto said, just a lot of windows for it to work well for you. Whenever people try and argue, that's my favorite, is when newer or inexperienced or uninformed players just like talk about like, well, of course it was banned. Of course it's like, if it was banned in Modern, it was banned for a reason. It's like, well, kinda. Like, there are a lot of things that were banned in Modern that just like never had an impact. We could get Swan Songed here. That's a Pact of Negation. Yep. No, I'm kind of sad that I left this Opt on my deck. I guess this time walks them, right? So this is actually going to be a good example of like using the silence effects, because I'm going to, what's the word I'm searching for? I'm going to Glittering Wish for my Jeskai Ascendancy, and then I'm going to cast Silence during their upkeep. And I'm actually going to go ahead and cast this Manamorphose, so that way I can cast Silence without losing my Gemstone Mine. We're going to make green-white with this. So assuming they have no other interaction for us, we'll be able to kill them next turn. So hopefully this is just like time walk you, untap, kill you. Again, don't ask me to tell you why a card is bad. Tell me why a card is good. What does Ideas Unbound do for this deck? What problem does this deck have, and how does Ideas Unbound solve it? That's how you want to approach deck building in an intelligent and efficient manner. They're just doing this so they can auto pass, hopefully. I haven't played a land yet this turn, but like mana's not going to be our bottleneck. Yeah, these cards are great. So we'll get to loot a Fatestitcher away here. So they should be pretty dead at this point. We could potentially have a bottleneck on cards, but we have enough cards in our hand that that's pretty unlikely. So if you've never seen this deck combo before, this is how the combo actually executes. You just sit here and cast a bunch of spells with Jeskai Ascendancy out while you have a bunch of things. And I think I'm far enough up on cards that I'm just going to like silence for good measure here. Like it's card negative when I silence, but I think I'm far enough ahead that that's fine. So now I just have to make my creatures large enough to kill them. Yeah, I guess if we keep bricking here, we could potentially be in a little bit of trouble. Really looking for a Nagging Thoughts or a Glittering Wish. Okay, so Nagging Thoughts is great. So the card Ideas Unbound is something that people ask about a lot in this deck, because most of the cards in my experience that people play in this deck traditionally, that people always ask me why I'm not playing them, when I tested them, they were win more cards. So Ideas Unbound is a card that generates you a lot of card advantage while you are comboing. But when you're not comboing, they're really bad and kind of mediocre. And people like to kind of maximize the cards that they're playing mid-combo when you don't need to worry about maximizing what you're doing mid-combo. When you have Jeskai Ascendancy going, you're going to win the game more often than not. You should worry about minimizing your chance to brick and your chance to giving yourself the best possible chance to get set up. So a card like Nagging Thoughts, while generating card advantage mid-combo, it also allows us to have a good card to find our combo pieces when we're not comboing. Sweet. Yeah, these are... Alright, then that's gonna be lethal, right? I'm so impressed with you talking through all these clicks. I've had a lot of practice. I've had a lot of practice. Alright, so... Yeah, we just need to get to 20 power on my dorks. I'm so close to having lethal here, I don't really need to do anything else. Like, yeah, they're dead. You don't like waiting. Like, I don't need to put the other JC into play. It might be like marginally faster. I don't know if I don't think I want extra silence in the draw. I guess this Noxious Revival is pretty bad. Although I suppose the flip side of that is it allows us to combo faster occasionally too. I think I'm just gonna click submit. I think 3 silences is probably plenty. Again, why should I play Grape Shot? What problem does it solve? What issue am I getting in where I'm not winning the game, that Grape Shot wins me the game? That's how you should approach deck building. Don't ask me to tell you why I'm not playing a card. Sell me on the card. Tell me, why is the card good? What does it do? Why should I put it into my deck? This hand's okay. It needs a mana creature, but it's got a silence to buy us a little bit of time, and it's got Ascendancy in the opener. They've been really good at having their Amulet with no cantrips. I think I'm just gonna Sleight of Hand on one here. I'm gonna grab a Breeding Pool, so that way I can cast a bird off of it if I draw it next turn. This deck wins through Ensnaring Bridge with Flesh Blood in the sideboard, so Grape Shot does not solve the problem of Ensnaring Bridge. This card kills your opponent without attacking. It's how you win with Sylvan Caryatid. So, Ensnaring Bridge is not a problem that this deck has. Alright, that's a Birds of Paradise, and then I'm gonna upkeep silence them, and then hopefully we'll untap and kill them on our turn. I don't know what Garbage Fire does. What are the problems this deck has? In my experience, Burn's the most difficult matchup. Just because Eidolon's kind of a beating. Silence is a very interactive Magic card, you're not wrong. Actually set up really well to win the game next turn. They don't have a Swan Song or a Pact Negation. I guess I should have fetched first here, right? Because if they have a way to destroy this, they have a Nature's Claim, they could kill it in response. We'll start with Sleight of Hand, see what we get. And then this Fatestitcher will allow us to not be bottlenecked on mana, which is nice. I would like the Sleight of Hand. Put this Fatestitcher into play here. So now we're no longer bottlenecked on mana, because when you have 2 mana creatures in play, you're going to generate 2 mana whenever you cast a 1 mana spell, so we're generating lots of mana, which is nice. So I'm going to untap this, and then I'm going to go ahead and Nagging Thoughts. So when you're comboing with this deck, there's 2 bottlenecks that you'll often have. The bottlenecks are either you don't have enough mana, or your bottleneck is you don't have enough. You either don't have enough mana or you don't have enough cards in your hand, and we've solved the mana bottleneck by getting a second mana creature into play here, and Nagging Thoughts here is going to solve the cards bottleneck because it's going to generate card advantage when we discard it to Jeskai Ascendancy. This deck is, I think this deck is genuinely good. I'm not playing this deck at the 5K this weekend because I think it's, because I think it's cute. I do think it's cute. I have a lot of fun playing it, for the record. I think it's cute, but I also think this deck is very powerful. I've been playing this deck fairly consistently for the last, I don't know, like 6 months now, since Anironics like donated for it initially, and I think it's very, very good. Not only does it kill on turn 3, but like the Wish toolbox like lets you play through a lot of common hate cards your opponents could have and stuff, which is great. All right, so I'm gonna untap this. And I am going to play the second Ascendancy out now, I think, just because I have enough cards. The reason to not play the second Ascendancy out when you have it is because it's card disadvantaged when you play it, because it doesn't replace itself. What's your sideboard oriented towards? You should read my articles here. Should read the Jeskai Ascendancy article there. It is also technically a toolbox deck. I am a sucker for a good toolbox deck. That is definitely the truth. So, unlike combo decks like Storm, which once you set up the combo kill, you get to autopilot through your combo kill, one of the reasons I really enjoy this deck is because it gives you more decisions mid-combo, which is good and bad. Like, if you're a worse player, you're going to have chances, like, you're going to get comboing, and you're going to have chances to fuck up mid-combo. And I believe my opponent doesn't have anything going on here, but, like, just in case, we get to go ahead and silence them. Just in case they want to do something fucky. You mentioned mage combo without the quest. I didn't know of it. Okay. Sweet. Alright. Well, they killed us on turn 2 the first game, and then we killed them on like 3 and 4 the next couple games. And like, honestly, like, again, our sideboard cards, like, we were racing there, but like our silences in both of those games allowed us to actually buy. They were time walks, right? Like, someone asked why we were boarding in silence. I was like, well, it's time walk. And then they actually ended up being exactly time walk. Just like bought us enough time to race them. This hand's fine. It's like not super exciting, but it has Ascendancy in the opener, and we've got cantrips to dig for a mana creature. I think I'm gonna fetch Shock on one, so that way, if I bottom cards with the Serum Visions, I don't have to shuffle them back into my deck later. Let's stand up for this league. The rest of this league. I'm gonna get Steam Vents here, I think. Modern is a turn 4 format, yep. Nope, I don't think Hydroform in the sideboard is very good, that's why I don't play it. That's just perfect, right? So I'm actually gonna bottom both of these. We drew the Noble Hierarch, which is a card that I wanted to draw. And then once we get the Ascendancy going, either my opponent's going to kill my Noble Hierarch. If they have like a discard spell for my Ascendancy here, I'm going to be sad that I did that, but that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and Abundant Growth to filter mana here. Abundant Growth is in this deck because it allows you to have a 5-color land, so you can combo and make any color of mana with Fatestitcher. It also allows your Gemstone Mines to live through particular board states, which is good. No, this is card for card the list we played in the last league. From 2 leagues ago, we've added 2 copies of Engineered Explosives, which have felt okay. So we need to draw a land here in order to kill them on our next turn, potentially. Faithless Looting. Are they playing Faithless Looting in Storm, maybe? I think if we don't draw land for the turn, I'm going to cast a Manamorphose before I cast a Jeskai Ascendancy, trying to cantrip into the land. They could be like some kind of... Are they a Living End deck, maybe? Hallowed one. Okay, interesting. All right, sweet. And there's the land. So they're not guaranteed dead here, but there's a good chance our opponent is dead at this point. Good chance our opponent's dead. All right, so I want to get a Hallowed Fountain here. Yeah, Hallowed Fountain works. And then this makes red, this makes white, this makes blue. We cast Ascendancy. I do actually need to hit some 1-mana spells here. I need to find a way to generate extra mana. So like Engineered Explosives or something like that would be very good right now. I'm gonna go ahead and loot here. Not want a Breeding Pool. So if I don't actually draw a 1-mana spell here or a free spell, I will not be able to combo this turn. All right, that's a Glittering Wish. All right. Well, hopefully they can't kill the Noble Hierarch. If they can kill the Noble Hierarch here, we might get into trouble depending on how much damage they can deal. Wow, that's a lot of fucking lands in a row. I think I'm just going to fetch the island out of my deck at this point just to thin it. Wonder what's in their hand. They're probably holding up counter spells, right? Like they're probably like a Stubborn Denial deck. It's fine. The fact that they haven't killed the Noble Hierarch yet is very good for us. I don't know why people like to do this. Maybe they think they're like getting us by waiting to do it, but they should have just killed the Noble Hierarch on their turn. And that's another reason I really like playing this deck, is you get to get people who fucked up. Because people aren't used to playing against this deck, so they take bad lines. So like now, I've put 2 Jeskai Ascendancy triggers on the stack, so like, this thing's gonna be a 2/3 when this is a Charm Resolves. I'm gonna bin that for now. Yeah, Trevor, that one right there, wine path to moto.exe is exactly what you want to do. How does this deck beat Chalice on 1? Well, 1, Chalice on 1 is really shitty in Modern, and it's not a card that's played in a lot of very good decks, so you can mostly just ignore Chalice on 1 decks. But if for some reason you have some kind of obsession and want to beat Chalice on 1 decks, you have copies of Glittering Wish in your deck that allow you to beat Chalice on 1. Alright, and this is actually going to untap here still, so let's float a mana and then let it get bigger. We have Engineered Explosives in our main deck as well. That's true. Forgot about that one, actually. This is going to make 2 mana. Maybe I should have kept the other Glittering Wish. That's possible. Cast this. The EE is new. I forgot about the EE. Forgot about the Engineered Explosives. So this is going to go get... Oh, you know what? I should probably filter green mana into red mana here, because one of the things about going off with Noble Hierarch that's a little bit awkward in this deck is the fact that until we find a Fatestitcher, we actually can't make red mana mid-combo here. I probably want that Wisps, actually, because I might bottleneck on mana at some point this game. Is this deck more difficult to pilot in paper because you have to... Well, I mean, so think about it this way. Compared to streaming for you all, playing in paper Magic is like playing Magic on easy mode for me. Like, when I play Magic in paper, I just get to sit there and, like, actually play Magic instead of talking about, like, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, like, having to manually keep track of things is very similar to this. Also, I'm a very good technical player, so being able to keep track of stuff like that really isn't a big deal. We've not hit a Fatestitcher in the top half of our deck. That's really annoying. I'm going to make red here, I think. Yeah, because then I can make white with this and cast this other Ascendancy. Nah, I'm implying chat's really distracting. So when I don't have a distraction, it's fine if I have different distractions. I did, in fact, go to Milwaukee and play in an owl costume. You can check that out on Star City's stream archives. All right, and they are actually dead at this point because I get to go ahead and cast this Glittering Wish. And then the Glittering Wish... I guess I should probably try and find my Silence just in case. They have like a Vapor Snag or something. If they had a Vapor Snag, they would have used it already, right? Yeah, I'm just going to go grab Flesh Blood here. And then we can go ahead and use the blood. Choose a creature you control to deal damage. Deal it to you. I can technically loot here. It doesn't really matter. So it's going to deal 13 to my opponent, and then we'll attack them for 13 here. So you can... So this is how you actually kill people with Through and Staring Bridge. Like, if you generate enough Ascendancy triggers, you can just Flesh Blood them for lethal, but, like, it's just less clicking for me to attack them for half. Yeah, the Flesh Blood is also how you kill a Sylvan Caryatid, for reference. Exalted Trigger is relevant, right? Alright, so how am I sideboarding here? These Engineered Explosives probably aren't very good. This is a Path to Exile or Silence matchup. It's probably a Silence matchup, right? They probably have, in addition to removal, they have counterspells. Yeah, the Soul Flare deck was sweet. Soul Flare deck was sweet. Yeah, Fatestitcher isn't good at generating fast kills. You want your Birds of Paradise, Noble Hierarchs, and Sylvan Caryatids for that. No, everything I play is on YouTube. If it's not on YouTube, I haven't played it. I think they're As Foretold Living Into. That sounds right. So I think Silence is just what I want. Basically, when you're boarding this deck, you want to ask yourself this question. You want to say, which disruption package do I want? Do I want the Silence disruption package? Do I want the Leyline disruption package? Or do I want the anti-permanent disruption package? And then you want to board into one of those. You don't want to board in too many different cards because remember, we're a proactive combo deck, so boarding in too many cards is going to dilute our primary game plan. Also, because we're a living or a Glittering Wish deck, we never are without our tools. So like, should I find out that they did something that makes me need Abrupt Decay or Wear Tear post board, I can Glittering Wish and fetch that card and answer their problem. I literally just answered why we're playing 2 Fatestitchers. Literally just said that. This hand's actually a really good example of like why Fatestitcher is worse than the other mana creatures. Because like if this was like any of our other mana creatures, we get to play it on 1 or 2 and get set up for a turn 3 to turn 4 kill very easily. I think I'm gonna keep this hand. Like our deck has so many cantrips and mana dorks in it that like we're bound to draw something pretty reasonable, I think. We're 1-0 in this league, and we're up a game in the second match. Put it mulligan to 6. Opt is great. Would love an opt. We do not play a Stomping Grounds. Our only red source is a Steam Vents. Yeah, it's Steam Vents and then Gemstone Mines. Correct, yeah. This can definitely set up a slower kill that involves play Ascendancy and then loot away Fatestitcher the following turn. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep this Silence, I think, based on what they've shown us so far. I'm going to play this tapped past the turn. Looks like they kept kind of a slower hand. A Thought Scour or something? Cycle, sure. Probably opt this turn. They just pass with 3 mana up again. I'm probably not going to slam the Ascendancy. Fatestitcher does require extra clicking. You're not wrong. I'm actually going to keep that. Because now I can go Gemstone Mine into Birds of Paradise here, and then pass the turn, and then next turn I have the Bird of Paradise plus the Ascendancy. And I can actually set it up where I go Silence to start, and then slam Ascendancy, and then loot away the Fatestitcher and get going that way. You have a way to kill my bird here? Yeah, that's fine. Because I still, the way my land's lined up, since I drew the island too, I can still next turn go Silence Ascendancy, and then the following turn get rolling. Because they're a straight blue-red deck, they shouldn't be able to take the Ascendancy off the table, which is great for us. Nah, I had arthritis developing long before I started playing this deck. Oh my god, I fucked up. Please counter this. Please counter this. Please counter this. Damn it. I can't cast the Ascendancy. I can't cast the Ascendancy. Oh, this and this only make blue mana. Yep. That's a pretty big mistake. those decks can't combo on turn 2 and turn 3, which is the only reason this deck is good. Can I get a timeout for my anniversary? Of course. Thanks for the 2 months, Lizardio. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I can't hold up silence this turn, so hopefully they just brick off for another turn. Why not just cast Fatestitcher there? Because I didn't have enough mana to cast Fatestitcher? Oh, you mean put Fatestitcher into play this past turn instead of the Jeskai Ascendancy? Having the Ascendancy in play has higher upside. I wonder if I was supposed to Noxious Revival there. Oh, I could have Noxious Revival to get going, right? That was a mistake. God, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here. The fact that I cast the Silence on turn 4 and then messed up. So if they're looking for As Foretold plus Living End here to kill us. Sweet. Okay, sweet. We shouldn't be dead. And then we get to lead on Silence next turn. And leading on Silence should mean they're dead. Oh, we can revival back their dragon. Yeah, that's true, actually. Okay, yeah, so leaving the revival up is nice. Ooh, an extra Fatestitcher. Don't mind if it does. I'm actually... They could Surgical Us in response here, but I guess I have Noxious Revival if they Surgical Us, so that's fine. And again, because I don't have an Abundant Growth currently, I actually don't have the ability to make red mana just yet. I guess I have two hits of red mana, right? I have 2 shots of red mana. We're gonna kill them very quickly at this point. They're not deterministically dead. Actually, they might be. They're pretty close to deterministically dead, and they've been silenced, so they can't cast any more magic cards. So we have plenty of mana. We have plenty of everything basically. Plenty of cards. Now I'm pretty sure we're deterministic at this point. I'm just gonna get the Flesh Blood even probably makes it more deterministic because it's like a 3rd attacker. So like I only have to get these things to 6 attack. Yeah, they're deterministically dead at this point based on the cards in our hands. We cannot brick. It is impossible to brick. And this is the best part. Like, if I'm like, people talk about this deck looks miserable to play in paper. Like at this point in paper, I just like look at my opponent and explain what's going to happen to them, and then like I'm done playing Magic, right? Whereas here on Magic Online, oh, that just lagged, and I tried to tap my other Fatestitcher. It's a good thing we're far enough ahead that doesn't matter. Whereas here, I have to keep clicking and doing stuff and doing things. So now I untap this. I make green, and I untap this. And I make red here, and then we use blood and use this to do damage up there. And they've been silenced here, so I don't have to worry about like anything bad happening to me at this point. So this is gonna deal 7 to them, and then I'm gonna attack for 13. Yeah, sure. They can force you to do it, sure. But at a team event, especially, like they're gonna want to get on with their match and like help their teammates and stuff like that. At a paper tournament at that point, I would put my hand face up and kind of explain what I'm doing and just like keep playing face up, especially if they're silenced and can't interact with me. While waiting for the 3rd match to pop, I'd just like to say good morning, afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're in the world. Thanks for joining us for our last league here today. My name is Jeff Hogan. I'm going to stream Magic for a little bit over 8 hours today. I stream Magic full-time here on this channel, 30+ hours a week. We play a ton of Modern, we play some Legacy, we play some Vintage. Also stream Hearthstone and Hex on occasion. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are why I'm able to do this as a full-time job. Subscriptions start at $4.99 a month, or if you're one of the many people in the world who has Amazon Prime, You can link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, and then you get Twitch Prime included with that for free. Twitch Prime gives you a free channel subscription to a channel of your choice every single month. You can also support my stuff by checking out some of my wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com would love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mousepads, binders, and bags there. And of course, myself and everyone else would like to welcome everyone to Hoaglandia. Please talk to your friendly neighborhood moderator about your complimentary timeout. I think this hand's okay. It needs some lands, but it's got like a mana creature in it. It's got some cantrips. Again, the first land being Gemstone Mine kind of sucks, but Abundant Growth means that we're not going to lose it, which is nice. This hand's okay against the discard spell. Probably lose the Glittering Wish. Hey, my son wants to play this deck at F&M. We go to, but I don't have ley lines. What I thought, where did I put them? Should I just force them to play something else? If you don't expect a lot of, this is the matchup that you want, ley lines. If you think they're going to play against a lot of Inquisition decks, playing the deck without ley lines will probably be frustrating. But if you're not expecting a ton of Inquisition decks, you could just add more threat density in the board. I've played things like Monastery Mentor and Young Pyromancer in the past. They're not as good as the ley lines, but they're an okay supplement. With Potty, that's great. What do we got here? Honestly, they might take the Abundant Growth. I don't know. Depending on how much, like, the context of their hand, I assume Blood Crypt Inquisition means they're going to be loaded up with removal, which I assume means they can kill this Noble Hierarch. Magic's great. We're still a little bit of ways from using that because we need, like, more lands here, obviously. But it's an okay. Yeah, that's true. Like looking at this assortment of cards, there's no guarantee that they 100% know what we're playing. Looking like Mardu Pyromancer could be Jund with the basic Swamp, but likely Pyromancer. Terminate could go either way. Land, please. Land, please. Huh. I think I Abundant Growth here, even though it gives me one less shot at a second land, just because I really don't want to lose my Gemstone Mine. I think missing there means we're probably far enough behind that we could die. This is Jund. Okay. Jund is really tough for us because they play for Liliana the Veil. Well. So, Liliana the Veil is able to interact with our Sylvan Caryatid, which are usually our hey, don't touch me creature. I think I'm just cycling the Cerulean Wisps here to try and find some land. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pay one, take a counter off this and draw a card. Have a blue Confidant. I guess that cost me a counter, so maybe that wasn't worth it. I don't think this matchup's that bad. Like I said, like most of it's hard to have matchups that are truly that terrible with a deck like this, just because, like, I don't know, sometimes you kill them on turn 2 or turn 3 and they didn't really get to do a whole lot. Fatestitcher, when it comes into play, has haste, so this is effectively your haste mana creature. So in this matchup, obviously we want these ley lines. I think Noxious Revival is good because it picks back up a Jeskai Ascendancy after they've killed it. So the Engineered Explosives and the Silence come out because, like I said, you only want one anti-disruption package. And I think I trim and opt here. It's probably the one I want to get rid of. Yeah, that seems fine. One of the things that's kind of nice about this deck, too, is that unlike a lot of these Leyline of Sanctity combo decks, we can actually cast Leyline on turn 2 to turn 3 if we draw it. What problem does Faithless Looting solve that my deck has? What does it do that cards that I'm already playing don't do for me? Why should I play Faithless Looting? In my experience, getting a mana creature into play with haste isn't the problem. The problem, this hand is great. We get to play Leyline on one and we get to play Bird on one. Can you explain the other half problem? You mean the wrong half problem? Like when you're playing an interactive deck? Is that what you mean, like the wrong half problem with a deck like Jund? The wrong half problem refers to, for instance, you're playing against a deck like Humans and you draw a bunch of Inquisitions and Thought Seizes that are good against spell-based combo, whereas, or the inverse happens, you're playing against a deck like Ad Nauseam and your hand is all Fatal Pushes and Lightning Bolts. Like, you draw, your deck is split on cards that solve very specific problems, and half of them solve one problem and half of them solve the other problem, and you draw the wrong half in the wrong matchup. Thankfully, we have a second land here, so I just get to go ahead and play the Sylvan Caryatid out. Leyline plus Caryatid is definitely one of our best ways to win this matchup, just because, like, just, okay, you can't interact with me at all, basically. We're playing against Jund currently. We only play 2 copies of Fatestitcher, and comboing with Fatestitcher is very slow. If your goal is to go faster with this deck, it's not play more Fatestitchers. If you're trying to go faster with this deck, your goal is to... What's what I'm searching for? The way you go faster with this deck is to... do I want the Sleight of Hand? I kind of don't. I haven't played a land yet this turn, so I'm actually going to go ahead and cast this Serum Visions and draw this other land, and then cast the Sylvan Caryatid. And then we're just looking for a Glittering Wish or a Jeskai Ascendancy. I'm going to go bottom here because I'd really just like to draw one of those two things. This is kind of bad if they have Anger of the Gods or Damnation, I guess. So maybe this is loose. I don't know. If I wasn't drawing this, I should have bottomed that other land. It's possible I should have just bottomed that other Gemstone and kept digging, and one Sylvan Caryatid was going to be plenty. I'm kind of putting myself in a position where I don't have enough cards in hand at this point. Like, if my opponent plays a Liliana of the Veil next turn and pluses it up, I could run out of cards. Maelstrom Pulse is very good. And I'm saying to you that I've tested this deck a lot, and I've tested Faithless Looting, and Faithless Looting is card disadvantage that doesn't solve problems that this archetype has. It doesn't help you keep a mana creature in play. It doesn't help you win the game faster. It doesn't help you not die to burn. Oh, is that good? Remember when I said we could cast Leyline in this deck? It's such a hoot. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of my house! Remember, Faithless Looting is not a cantrip. Faithless Looting is a card that it provides card selection at the cost of card advantage. Again, I feel like chat doesn't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. The problem that this deck has isn't keeping a mana creature in play. Lots of cards that people like to suggest for this deck, like Sylvan Awakening and all these Postmortem Lunge. The issue isn't getting a mana creature into play. The issue is getting your Jeskai Ascendancy to hang around, because if you have a Jeskai Ascendancy that hangs around, you're gonna win the game, because when Jeskai Ascendancy hangs around, you get to loot through your deck and find whatever you're missing. The Worm almost missed the resub, but we made it a whole half year. Thank you for the 6 months, The Worm. I appreciate that. Welcome back. There is not a Jund deck list. I'll be putting that together for the next stream, most likely, or 2 streams from now. I think Legacy is at the top of the queue at the moment after today. I hope we get IO Kid too, right? And, like, getting our other Leyline Maelstrom Pulse, like, kind of feels bad, but, like, on the flip side, they'd be able to Maelstrom Pulse a Jeskai Ascendancy, so it's like, eh. You just did Pot of Greed? I've not, actually, which might be a mistake. Alrighty. Well, we don't have any spells to put into play with this, and they could have an Abrupt Decay here, but, you know, if they don't have it, we get to do our thing. See if they have a decay or not. Because they boarded in Nihil Spellbomb, yeah, looks like they have an Abrupt Decay too. Do we keep Leylines? They just like didn't have any discard spells? That's kind of a beating. I think I'm going to board out the Noxious Revival if we have a game 3, just because they have so much graveyard hate in their deck. Just firing up Raging Ravine. Yeah, this is pretty smart on the opponent's part. They just want to like close ASAP. There's no creatures in the bins, right? 0, so this is a free block. All right. Bolt, pull, Spellbomb, yep, free block. Okie doke. Get the fuck out of here. So this is the thing. We're gonna go on a fucking rant here. This is the mess that I just came out. Probably shouldn't assume that we're all dumb. I get that it's part of your shtick, but you shouldn't assume that we all don't know what we're talking about. This is the classic internet thing. People assume that I'm calling them dumb because I'm asking them to validate the responses that they're giving me. I didn't say that you're dumb. If you felt like I implied that you're dumb, I'm sorry if you felt that way. But by asking you to explain yourself, to help me understand why you feel the way you do, I can't read your mind. I don't know why you're telling me to make the suggestion that you're making. By asking you to explain yourself and tell me why I should play the cards you're suggesting, I'm hoping that you can help me learn and become a better player. And maybe you don't have a good reason because you didn't think about it. And maybe you do, but I'll never know because I can't reach into your brain and tell you. And I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not trying to tell you you're a bad person or you're stupid or bad. I just want to engage in a discussion. I get that there's so many places on the internet where someone says, well, this is what I think, and it's just the way it is. And they don't want to talk about why they do the things that they're doing. And that's very frustrating to me, and that's not how you create a dialogue. It's not how you help people learn. It's not how you encourage people to become better Magic players. It's not useful or helpful to anyone to just say, I'm right because I'm smart. I don't give a shit if you're LSV or you're Einstein or whoever in whatever expert field. If you're not going to explain to me why I'm supposed to do the thing you're suggesting I do, what you're saying is worthless to me, because you're not helping me grow as a person. Memorization is mental masturbation. It's the lowest form of learning. If you can't help the person you're talking to understand why the thing that they're supposed to be doing is supposed to be done, they're not actually accomplishing anything, and you're not helping them grow as a person or become smarter. All right, sorry. Let's continue dying to Jund. But that was, I feel like I haven't articulated that well before, but that is, like, I catch a lot of shit from a lot of places from people online because they're like, you're so arrogant, you're so rude. It's like, no, I just want you to help me learn. I don't want to sit there and have you tell me that I should listen to you because you're you, because that's not useful. That's not helpful. Since this just came up, I wanted to put my comment specifically on how you time out people becomes a... I have made an active part to stop using the phrase use your words, because I agree, I can understand that is condescending. In fact, we literally started using that because that's what I say to my toddlers, because my toddlers, 4-year-olds don't know to use their words. So they like grunt and complain. It's like, no, I need you to use your words, Jake. I need you to tell me what you want. I need you to tell me what you mean, Declan. You can't just like grunt and hope that I know. I agree. Yep, that is definitely a big part of the world. Like, you interact with all these other people and no one's actually interested in learning. They're just interested in like screaming at each other and like validating that what they think is correct. And it just like it isn't a drive for people to actually get smarter and better themselves. People are just interested in being right. They're not interested in having a discussion. All that matters is that they leave the conversation feeling that they were right. Oh, Liliana's very annoying. Mostly because this also lets the Scavenging Ooze attack us, right? Hi, wife. I'm in my last league.
What does that mean?
It means I am in match 3, and we have anywhere between a half hour and an hour left. Probably a half hour, 45 minutes or so. I love you. Why do you want dinner?
You just already went late.
I'm... Alright, so the Nagging Thoughts is actually kind of sweet because we can discard it to the Liliana for value, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and play this Noble Hierarch out because I need to chump block one of their things this turn. Has Moto helped you as a Magic player, as a mostly paper player? I'm not sure the investment. Moto's good for repetitions, but as far as like formal testing goes, playing against random matches against people you don't know on Magic Online isn't really good formal Magic testing.
Do you see the messages I sent you?
This is funny. They have to take the Nagging Thoughts. I didn't. My Facebook was closed.
Oh. That one's just really funny.
He is very funny. You're not wrong. Hey, thank you, opponent. Moto will definitely help you if you feel like your technical play is lacking in general in Magic. I think Magic Online will definitely help you up your technical play. I think that is definitely the case. So I have to chump block here. The Serum Visions actually isn't a terrible draw here because it means if we draw Jeskai Ascendancy next turn, we can potentially kill them. MODO stands for Magic Online with Digital Objects. It's an acronym. So for those that aren't familiar, that's what that means. It's Magic Online with Digital Objects. It's another name for Magic the Gathering Online. I guess I'm binning this Leyline, right? Although I guess actually casting the Leyline might be useful at some point because I just have so many mana creatures. So I need to draw Jeskai Ascendancy. If I draw Jeskai Ascendancy or Glittering Wish this turn, I could potentially win the game. I missed a donation. I did, Knight. Sorry, my wife was distracting me. I love the rant, but I feel it doesn't address what the chat really needs. I can't tell you the text on Pot of Greed. I don't know what Pot of Greed does. Sorry, I'm not helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and chump block with the Sylvan Caryatid. Leave 2 mana creatures back. Is Pot of Greed Divination? That's like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, right? Yeah, this is Ascendancy combo. It's just a long game against Jund, so we're kind of getting ground out. If we draw a 1 mana spell for the turn, we could Serum Visions into Ascendancy or Glittering Wish. All right, so I think we're dead. I'm pretty sure I'm just dead. Yeah. Yep. So came a little bit short at there at the end. It was actually really awkward for us. I have a friend that speaks in the same mannerism as you, and I found that his tone of voice when questioning people why they did such as is more often off-putting than what they said. You being in a position of power with this stream might naturally put them on defensive. Yeah, and I can't do anything about that, right? Like without like explicit really short hand holding. And like the way streaming works where there's 1,000 of you in chat and there's 100 of you chatting or 200 of you chatting, I don't have time to sit there and like talk very slowly to people and not sound short while I'm talking to them. And people take you being blunt or short as meaning you're being rude or dismissive. When really, like, most people that post things in Twitch chats, especially people that aren't used to the culture in the channel here, like, they're not used to actually talking things out. They're used to posting, like, little short blurbs. And the thing that really gets me is people constantly, they send their message 4 words at a time over, like, 6 messages. And it's like, well, that's really short and it's annoying and your message gets broke up. So, like, can you type your full thought in a message before you press enter? Can I replace 2 Flooded Strands? Misty Rainforest and Flooded Strand are the same fetch land in this deck. Any other fetch lands are going to be less effective. I think if you don't have a combination of 6 Misties and or Flooded Strand, you should probably play copies of probably like Gemstone Mines or City of Brass. Yeah, that's fair, Tom. That's fair. This hand isn't good enough, I don't think. It doesn't have a mana creature. It doesn't have a Jeskai Ascendancy, and the rest of its mana isn't very good. But Jeff, I like to see my name. Yeah, did you know your computer, if you open up another tab in your web browser, can play some music for you? Gosh, this hand is so good with some lands. This hand is so good with some lands. Never didn't have it. Never didn't have it. Never didn't have it. Never didn't have it. And again, the keep on a hand like this isn't about what's the words I'm searching for. It isn't about whether you hit or not making it right. The answer to the question is, do I think my average 5, what's more likely to happen? Is my average 5-card hand likely to be good, or am I likely to hit with this hand? Bunch of basic planes. This is a Cat Jesus. Walking Ballista. Well, that's something. Basic planes, Walking Ballista. Cantrip or land? Dang God, we are okay. Now that one, now we're running good, chat. Now we're running good. Now we're running pretty good. Ideas Unbound, in my experience, is bad for a lot of the same reason that Faithless Looting is bad. When you're not comboing, Ideas Unbound is card disadvantage, or it's card disadvantage. You're spending a card to draw 3, discard 3. Whereas Nagging Thoughts is card advantage mid combo, albeit slightly worse, but it's card neutral when you're not comboing. I think Moto's interface by and large is functional. I think it's fair to call it functional. Is it amazing? No, certainly not. Is it functional? Yes, definitely. So the annoying part about Martyr of Sands here is I have to make sure I make enough mana to kill them through gaining 15, so I have to deal 35 this turn. This deck's actually very good against Blood Moon, which is funny to say, because like you have 4 copies of Manamorphose and you have a bunch of mana creatures. So this deck's actually got a pretty good Blood Moon matchup, which I think is funny at least. This is our 3rd turn, right? I haven't played a land yet, pretty sure. Would love to grab an opt. This is gonna untap my creature, so I'm gonna tap it for a green mana here. What about O-Stone? I think I want to just kill them this turn. Like, why do I want to wait? Because of years in a culture that calls you out as being rude / dismissive while being curt and challenging, I feel sometimes I'm not allowed to do or say anything or question that. That's probably an overshare. The blue border does fit Caryatid well. So we kind of need, so at this point I've talked about how you always want to identify your bottleneck. At this point, our bottleneck is actually kind of mana. So I really want to find like a Fatestitcher or a Manamorphose to start generating some extra mana with this hand. Oh, you're saying play Caryatid last turn instead of Jeskai Ascendancy? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. And then my bottleneck wouldn't be mana at this point. That's fair. We're 2-1 in this league. See, that's actually tough, because, like, I have plenty of cards, but I need things that jump my mana here, so I think I actually bottom that. That nets us mana, which is great. That's one of the reasons why this card is in our deck. Because it's a 0 mana card that untaps our creatures. The executives that are making the decisions at Wizards of the Coast see the dollar signs from what other companies are making from the Hearthstone model. They see the dollar signs that Hearthstone makes, and they want those dollar signs for themselves. Is basically what it comes down to. All right, at this point, we should probably be okay. I guess they could have a path to exile here, right? They could have a path to exile, and then we could have a hard time winning from here. I'm gonna grab Flesh Blood. I'm gonna put this into play. Or do they not have a path? That would be nice. Did I have enough mana to get the Ascendancy going? I don't remember if I had enough mana and enough cards. The only reason I didn't have a bottleneck on cards was because I was able to Glittering Wish for a 2-for-1. So this is going to cast this Glittering Wish, and this Glittering Wish is going to go get a Jeskai Ascendancy for us. My opponent asked if they were dead, and I said, you are very likely dead. I never like to talk in ultimatums because, like, we can brick off occasionally with this deck, but you can't wish for silence. Glittering Wish only gets multicolored cards. If Glittering Wish got any card out of your sideboard, it would see a lot more play in Modern. All right, what do I want? Like, so this is actually interesting because, like, I'm not actually sure what disruption we want in this matchup. Do I just want like a random path to exile rather than the silence? I think I do. I think it's just like paths and engineered explosives. Explosives is a nice one to leave in as a hedge just because like it makes free mana for you, which is nice. I think I'm just going to submit like this. And this is one of the reasons Hearthstone is a casual game that makes Blizzard lots of money, and since WotC's business model is that they want the money from casual or competitive players. I don't know. I think part of the reason why Hearthstone's model works is because their game is set up differently than Magic's. Like, the way deck building works in Hearthstone makes their model be a lot more friendly to that type of system than the Magic system. Like, the way where you can only have a max of 2 of each card and legendaries are 1-ofs make it a lot easier to assemble decks under the Hearthstone system. I had people donate for a Dealer's Choice League, and I'm choosing to. I'm playing this deck at a 5K this weekend, which is the biggest Paper Magic tournament I've played in a while. I don't play much Paper Magic anymore. I think this deck is very competitive if you play it well, and I think it's very fun to play. So yeah, this is something I'm considering playing if I had someone, if I was going to a Grand Prix for some reason. And this hand's very good. I've got a Noble. Again, your hands are looking for 3 things. You're looking for some lands, you're looking for a mana creature or 2, and you're looking for a way to get Jeskai Ascendancy, and Glittering Wish is Jeskai Ascendancy. What is Hardened Scales has to do with 1/1 counters. This deck doesn't do anything with 1/1 counters. So I'm not sure I understand the Hardened Scales question. No, I don't think they're streaming the 5K. Hey, look at that. Remember when I left this Engineered Explosives in my deck? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's just some good clean deck building right there. Do I want to play this Abundant Growth? JAC does not put 1/1 counters. It gives them 1/1 till end of turn. Can we get a quote about GPs are the equivalent of Burning Many? The humans matchup can be difficult with this deck. Engineered Explosives helps, and you have the tools post board, but the humans deck is very good against spell-based combo decks like this. I wouldn't use the words unwinnable, but it's definitely difficult. I'll go ahead and cast this. Actually, am I going to cast this Abundant Growth? Like, the Abundant Growth is valuable as a 1-mana spell. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and cast this Engineered Explosives and pass the turn. And now that I've seen that they have Damping Sphere out of their sideboard, I boarded in 1 Path to Exile. I'm going to turn that Path to Exile, probably bring in 2 Abrupt Decays post board. Or if we have a game 3, if we lose this game. And probably going to have something to signify tracking different things in paper when I play this. All right, so I think I kind of want to try and hit a land drop this turn, so I'm going to play this here. This deck can actually win the game through a copy of Thalia in play. And you have a lot of ways to kill things. Like post-boarding and humans, initially and generic explosives, you get to bring in Path to Exile and some Abrupt Decays to kill their things, which is nice. You have a lot of ways to interact with a lot of different things. And this second Glittering Wish is actually kind of nice, because this way if they have another piece of permanent-based disruption, I'm going to be able to cast Glittering Wish and get an Abrupt Decay or a Wear Tear to deal with that. Yeah, Damping Sphere is symmetrical, getcha. That's why we waited to blow this bad boy up. Tell me something you saw on Twitter that's ridiculous. I mean, that's a long list, right? There's a lot of things on Twitter that are quite ridiculous. Do I want a Manamorphose here? I kind of want a Manamorphose, right? Yeah, I'm actually going to Manamorphose because I really want to hit a land drop. I'll make probably green plus blue mana here. Okay. I mean, can't play the Ascendancy now. Punished for making green-blue. I definitely wanted to make green there, though, I think. I guess I could have made blue-red to hedge drawing this. Maybe I should have made blue-red to hedge drawing this. So they're going to gain a buck ton of life here, but we're going to get to start comboing next turn, so hopefully that doesn't matter. Wrath of God, Day of Judgment. So they're going to go to 41 here. I don't think I've ever killed anyone from 41. This should be fun. So white, blue, red, play my thing. I'm actually kind of excited we get to play against the Damping Sphere. That went about as expected, just like kill it, kill you. Yeah, the opponent's deck is Martyr Proc, which is slightly different from Soul Sisters for people that aren't super familiar with Modern. Soul Sisters plays Soul Sisters, and Martyr Proc plays Martyr and Proclamation of Rebirth. So the decks are slightly different. All right, so I'm gonna make white mana here. I'm going to untap this for some green mana. And the fact that I have 3 mana creatures here, plus another Fatestitcher in my hand, means we should be able to kill them from 41 pretty easily this game. So we're going to grab a Scarscale Ritual here to generate a bunch of cards. I guess maybe I should get Jeskai Ascendancy to like make my creatures very large very quickly. Yeah, maybe that should have happened. Decks are slightly different, but both are slightly not good. What's going on, Trey? Thank you very much for the 32 months. God, that's a long time. Thanks for putting up with me for so long. I appreciate it. Would have waited to put growth on a basic land. No, I cast the growth to try and cantrip into a land earlier in this game. The affinity matchup with this deck is pretty reasonable. Our nut draw is better than their is faster than their nut draw most of the time. Our average draw is also faster than their average draw a lot of the time too, which is nice. Which that's really what you want to measure in Modern, right? Like how does your average draw stack up against their degenerate average draw? My opponent said to tell me when they're dead, and I said, you're dead. All right, Nagging Thoughts. I guess I technically should have waited on that, but whatever. Good games, opponent. Sorry, that matchup seems kind of bad for them. All right, this is going to be my last match of the evening. Thank you for hanging out. I do appreciate it. We've been streaming Modern for almost 9 hours today. I'm going to hit publish on a bunch of YouTube videos after this, so if you haven't caught everything, be sure to check out youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland to see all of my decks there, everything that we did today. So I'll sign off, and then I'll have YouTube videos published probably in the first 10 minutes or so. So I got over 1,000 people. That's awesome. Again, for my regulars, if you want to budget the Noble Hierarchs in this deck, you should turn them into a 4th copy of Opt and another land. Probably another fetch land or a rainbow land. So I think the Noble Hierarchs are optimal. I've played this deck a lot, and I think it is optimal to play the 6/1 mana dorks, but if you don't have access to Noble Hierarchs for a budget region, the deck's definitely competitive without them. Same thing with the Engineered Explosives. If you don't have the Engineered Explosives, you could play copies of Path to Exile in the main deck. You could also play copies of, just more copies of Silence. You could also, if you expect your metagame to have a lot of copies of Please Be Valakut, Please Be Valakut, Please Be Valakut, Please Be Valakut. Yay, Valakut! That's one of the reasons I love this deck. This is one of the few decks that I really enjoy playing that like has decent Valakut and Tron matchups. I think Ascendancy is worse than it used to be because of the prevalence of Damping Spheres. No, I think it's fine. I think a lot of the decks that are going to be bringing in Damping Spheres against you anyways, you're going to want Abrupt Decay against them in the first place. Engineered Explosives helps with that as well. Watch more of your videos. Yeah, it's super. YouTube is super convenient. I'm glad people get something out of that. Definitely bottoming that. I think I'm gonna keep the Manamorphose for now, just because if we don't find an Ascendancy, Manamorphose replaces itself nicely, and if we do find Ascendancy, it lets us combo. You should play a 4th copy of Opt and a 17th land if you don't have Noble Hierarchs for this deck. Fourth copy of Opt, 17th land. We're 3-1. We lost a set to Jun. That matchup is the discard-based fair decks are a little bit harder than the counterspell-based fair decks because Silence is just so good. If you have 4 copies of Silence in your 75, your Jeskai matchup is pretty reasonable. Cardboard Crackling, thank you for the 8-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. This deck is so fast and efficient. And sets up so well that decks like Jeskai tend to have a hard time putting pressure into play while also disrupting your game plan. So there's a lot of times where like they make a choice to make you have it and then you can have it and kill them a lot of the time. Especially when Silence can make them have like, well, you need to have like a double counterspell turn and they just can't. I think this deck is a little bit more consistent, but I also think it's less volatile. Grishelbrand's Goldfish turn is definitely faster than this deck's Goldfish turn. We could die here. We might be a little bit slow. Yeah, we've like drawn a lot of lands and mana creatures. I guess I'm gonna start with this Manamorphose here. I'm gonna start with Manamorphose, hoping to hit Jeskai Ascendancy. Because if we hit Ascendancy, we can then go Ascendancy and Sleight of Hand to start going. So there's Sylvan Caryatid. All right, let's do this. Yep. I'm gonna play this out. I'm gonna play this and play this bird. Like, I've got so many cards in my hand to discard, like holding extra ones isn't really valuable. So this can get a Titan, which can deal 3 to me. So again, if we draw exactly Ascendancy, we can actually draw Cantrip into Ascendancy since I have this land in my hand too. The problem with the Manamorphose, I can't just Cantrip the Manamorphose into an Ascendancy next turn because I don't actually have another spell in my hand. So I need a spell to start comboing with. You have your 4th Ascendancy is in your sideboard. So you just like, if you know your opponent's playing Surgical Extraction, you can kind of play around that. And then that's just not going to be fast enough. We needed the Glittering Wish like 2 turns ago. 2 turns ago, we would have been able to wish for Ascendancy and cast it. Or if I had a 1 mana spell. So again, we just kind of got a little bit flooded here on mana creatures. Mana creatures and lands, so couldn't win. Like I said, I think this matchup's pretty good for us on average, but what just happened could definitely happen sometimes. Silence is actually pretty good in this matchup because, like I said, it's like basically Time Walk. So I'm going to go ahead and board these out and max out on copies of Silence. This is game 2 of the 5th match of this league. We are currently 3-1. Oh, you're right. No, I could have. Yeah, wow, that was bad. Yep, sorry. It's a long day. Not only could I have hit a 1 mana spell, but I also could have just drawn an actual Ascendancy. Yeah, because Manamorphose replaces itself. Yeah, sorry, that was bad. That was bad. Yeah, I could have Manamorphosed. I just wasn't thinking. I just talked about what I needed to draw, and then I didn't draw it, and then I just conceded. It's been a long day. Playing Magic. It's funny when people talk, like we talked about this earlier too. People like, do you think this deck is harder to play in paper? And it's like, well, playing paper is like half as hard as streaming, so. And we are 10 minutes away from 9 hours. Which I do this often, so like it's not too bad, but there's little things like that, especially when I'm talking about it. It's not the Magic Online explicitly that's tiring so much as like I've been talking for 9 hours too, basically. Yeah, it's great. It feels good to go ahead and shock this. And I almost thought that was a fetch, stupid expeditions. Looking for an Ascendancy or a Glittering Wish for an Ascendancy. Hey, Agar, thank you for the bits. The thing didn't announce my resub, so here's some bits. If you refresh your browser page, it should be at the top of your chat. You gotta manually send that in sometimes. I'm gonna take the Manamorphose here, I think, rather than the guaranteed land, just because like I have double Caryatid. Leyline is very slow and clunky and doesn't, what's the word I'm searching for? Leyline doesn't, like, usually we just want to kill them before they combo, and like silence can also be good on our combo turn to prevent them from, what do you think is more tiring, streaming and explaining what you're doing or playing live Magic? Definitely streaming. Playing live Magic is very easy once you're used to it. The no fly decks are listed in the bottom of the donation queue. All right, well that's annoying, but not the end of the world. So do I just play Ascendancy here, right? And then next turn I can cast Glittering Wish and go get Abrupt Decay. That's better, and it's agriculture. Love the stream. Hate the daytime Twitch chat. Prefer Hoogle After Dark. Hoogle After Dark's a little bit more intimate because there's usually less people around. Yeah, streams where people don't interact with the chat is just kind of boring. It's like, why don't you just record for YouTube and like post it later? So do I want a Jeskai Ascendancy here, or do I want to play this other Caryatid? The other Caryatid's pretty bad against an Anger of the Gods or Sweltering Suns. This way, if I draw a land next turn, I can go Glittering Wish plus Abrupt Decay the Damping Sphere and then combo off. Well, I guess I could loot into a land, right? So I'm gonna start with this, because if I loot into a land, I can Abrupt Decay them and potentially kill them this turn. It's a Bird's Paradise. I think I'm gonna hold. Nah, I'm gonna discard that one. All right, then let's go get a copy of Abrupt Decay here. I think I'm just gonna get Abrupt Decay. I'm gonna go ahead and cast this Sleight of Hand, because remember, this makes my next spell cost 1 more. That's why I can't play the Abrupt Decay with just 2 lands, for those wondering why that was an issue. Yeah, that's actually gonna be pretty good, right? I think that'll be good down the line. I'm gonna ban this Caryatid. Am I gonna bin the Caryatid? No, I think I'm gonna, no, yeah, I am gonna bin the Caryatid and I'm gonna silence them so they can't kill my Caryatid on their turn. Do I want to land here? I think I do, right? I guess I'm probably gonna draw enough cards so I don't need the land next turn. The Manamorphose will let me, yeah, I'm gonna take the Serum Visions. Let's just be a little greedy. So I'm gonna upkeep silence them. Yeah, Fiery Justice is just wishable. It's wishable like Pseudo Sweeper. It comes up against elves and humans a lot of the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and upkeep silence them, which keeps them off of Rexaging me, which is nice. It also prevents them from, like I said, Sweltering Suns to kill my Sylvan Caryatid. Survey says, no spells for you. Come back in 1 year. All right, if they have a Nature's Claim here, we could be in trouble. I think I'm actually going to wait to loot here, just because I don't really want to discard any of the cards that I currently have in my hand. let's cast this Manamorphose. And again, I'm going to wait to loot. Like, there is some value in, like, getting to Fatestitcher aggressively, but, like, every card in my hand cantrips right now, so I really don't want to discard cards that cantrip. I'm just going to make blue here, I think. Yeah, I'll make blue-red. And now we'll go ahead and take a loot. I guess I have, like, so I didn't have the mana to discard Nagging Thoughts for badness. Put my 100 bits towards Jeskai Teferi, 10 out of 10 will do. Discard this Nagging Thoughts, sweet. All right, now we just gotta cast enough spells until we can kill them with Glittering Wish. So again, you can win this game, you can win with this deck with Sylvan Caryatid without ever attacking by Glittering Wish for a thing. Again, we're just bottoming lands and things that don't let us cantrip here at this point, basically. Manamorphose nets us a mana, which is nice because it costs 2 mana, it untaps our creature, and then it makes 2 mana. So we end up with 1 more mana than we started with. Ideally, we're going to want to cast a Silence at some point while we're going off here, I think. Couldn't you deck yourself with this deck? Yeah, you could. But usually if you're drawing a bunch of cards, you have a creature in play. So your creature is getting larger, and then at some point you, like, attack them or draw Glittering Wish and kill them with that. Perfect. Here's my Silence. Make white. Make red mana. There's a Fatestitcher. Sweet. Alright, and they're silenced, so they should just be dead here at this point. And the Fatestitcher actually means, like, in some world where, like, we somehow bricked off and didn't, like, have enough going on, like, the Fatestitcher can actually just attack for lethal, especially with the second Ascendancy going on. Yeah, wish for Fleshblood is the kill without attacking. That is correct. Again, just kind of, there's a world where, like, we could theoretically brick at this point, but it's pretty unlikely. To go ahead and keep looting, just keep looting, just keep looting. All right, and I hit the card that I want to draw at this point, so now it's just a matter of casting, like, 3 more spells. So now we untap this. Yeah, we're definitely gonna go for the Fleshblood kill here, just because it's like less clicking overall. So this is gonna put this to a 12, and then Glittering Wish for stuff is going to Glittering Wish is gonna put it to a what's it called? It's gonna make it 4 bigger basically. Because the Fleshblood makes it 2 bigger too. So cast Glittering Wish. And I have enough mana at this point that I can stop floating mana. The opponent hasn't conceded because they don't value their time. Or maybe they're just not familiar with their deck and they want to see how we actually kill them. There are a lot of people, even the people playing the lower gambling leagues on Magic Online, that just, like, don't understand Life EV. So blood, target you. These triggers happen. In response to those triggers, I'm going to go ahead and Cerulean Wisp this. So this gets to 18 and is lethal. Opponent cast can. If my opponent wasn't silenced, I would be more conservative here. But the fact that my opponent's, that's one of the reasons to play silence this deck. Because, like, when you're in situations like this where they have a bunch of cards in their hand, you're just like, all right, you're dead. It doesn't matter. You can't do anything. Do I want to adjust this plan? They probably have multiple damping spheres, right? So do I want to do this? I think I want to split these two. I don't want more than 4 cards in my deck. I don't want more than 4 anti cards in my deck. So I think we just submit like this. I think I like this 2 and 2. This also can like randomly tag things like Prismatic Omen and stuff like that as well. No, I have a Wear Tear to wish for. I have a Wear Tear to wish for. So we still have a card to wish for in the sideboard. That's why the Wear Tear is there by and large. Sounds fine. It's got some lands, it's got some mana creatures, just needs an Ascendancy. Yeah, Wear Tear is a split card. Okay, they have their best start here on the play. More lands is not what we're looking to draw. Grab a Breeding Pool here and play. I'm going to lead on Noble Hierarch just because it's the worst of our 2 mana dorks. It doesn't make mana of every color. You pretty much never win by attacking with Exalted triggers, so like Noble Hierarch just like almost always worse than Birds of Paradise in this deck. There's a deck list on your screen. You can type ! Deck in chat to get a link to the deck list if you're on mobile. Yeah, you can activate abilities underneath what's it called? Yep. That's tasty. That's tasty. Declan is calling for me. He's funny. That's why I put at the end, you can type ! Deck in chat to get a link if you're on mobile. That's why I throw that in there. I understand the technology limitations. We are 3-1. This is game 3 of this match. Hey, look at that. They bolted the wrong one. God bless. God bless us, everyone. Ascendancy. Second Abrupt Decay, gross. I think I just pass here. I don't think I want... The question is, do I want to silence them this turn? I don't think I want to. Like, this isn't the Titan turn. Because getting in for 1 doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. Just gonna kill this. You can silence in response to suspend before they cast it. It is something you can do on occasion. This is just getting a Temple Garden. I guess I want to get a red source in case they kill my bird so I can still cast Ascendancy. It's probably not unreasonable. Yep, it'll remain exiled forever. That is correct. And again, this is an example of where Nagging Thoughts is generally better than Ideas Unbound, although these cards are both really shitty. Because again, we don't have to lose card advantage. We stay card neutral while taking this line. The way I tap my lands there means I can't silence and Abrupt Decay this turn. So I probably just want to silence. Details and I integrate with the Discorder there. Yeah, just a little bit clunky here. And like, while occasionally you're going to have clunky draws like this, every deck does this on occasion. And I think this deck has a lot less clunky draws like this than most decks just because we have such a critical mass of cantrips. So this deck provides a lot of card selection and can kind of find what it wants most of the time. I think I'm actually going to say... Oh, I actually can't cycle the Cerulean Wisps because Damping Sphere is up there. Glittering Wish. And... Wow, my mana's awkward. Oh, I guess I can use Cerulean Wisp to filter a color, right? I'm gonna go get Ascendancy here. I'm gonna hold on to this land for now, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this land for now and pass the turn. Maybe I was supposed to play out my bird 2 turns ago. We are dead to Landscape Shift. Oh my god, I can't. Oh, I can't do both. I fucked up. Because this is in play. I had to play the island. Because the Abrupt Decay costs 3. That's a huge punt. That could probably cost me this game. Yep. That's a pretty good draw. I wonder if they have a way to destroy this. Okay, their hand is really bad. Manamorphose. So, we're going to play this out and pass the turn here. They probably have more removal, right? I'm going to keep this Sanctum in my hand to loot through. Yeah, we had to Cerulean Wisps to make black mana on their turn, chat. They don't have a kill here. They find a thing. They found a thing. It's not very it's not. Please just be a ramp spell. Please just be a ramp spell. Not a payoff. Hey, Gemstone Mine. Gemstone Mine makes black mana. Oh, come on! Come on! They have another bolt here, we could be in trouble. This is what the kids call doing it? I hope so. So again, you're always looking to identify what your bottleneck is every game. Our current bottleneck is cards. We currently are kind of short on having enough cards to actually fully combo off here. Like I only have 3 cards in my hand. I need a critical mass of spells, and I don't have a lot of cards that actually cantrip right now. So I'm looking for a Glittering Wish. I'm looking for a nagging thoughts, cards that let me draw into additional cards. That's a Manamorphose. Okay, sweet. So these are actually really good here. So these are just a bunch of spells that I can cast here. So I only have to get this up to a 15/15, which is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and untap this. Yep. I think there's a high probability that we win now with double cantrip on top of our deck. Yeah, once we hit double cantrip on that Serum Visions, there was a very high chance that we were going to be successful this turn. I have all my colors of mana, so this doesn't matter. You can't set always yes on Fatestitcher. It's not an option on Magic Online. But believe me, I've played this deck a lot. Always yes isn't an option. I don't think we're supposed to play Ascendancy here because, like, again, my bottleneck really isn't mana at this point. My bottleneck is potentially having enough cards. Maybe because I hit those cantrips, I can play the Ascendancy out. I don't know. It seems kind of loose. Because, like, if I play the Ascendancy, I get 1 loot. I guess I have enough cards here to go for it. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I think that's one thing I still don't do fully correctly with this deck. I think I'm not aggressive enough about playing out the second one. Yeah, at some point we're either going to attack with Fatestitcher or we'll use Flesh Blood with it to kill them. gonna diddle their fetch land just in case there's a Dryad Arbor hiding over there like someone else said. And I'm gonna keep looting here because if we hit a Glittering Wish or a Nagging Thoughts, that would be very good for us. We don't need more Ascendancies. Let's card disadvantage. I would like a Serum Visions. This is a good set of games this league. I feel like we really showed a lot of the different draws that this deck could have and how you play through them. Like sometimes we just have like league games that all end up the same, but I feel like we played through a variety of different pieces of hate in this league. Like we played against counterspell decks, we played against discard decks, we played against decks where we were racing and using silence well. And there, nagging thoughts should mean it's impossible to break. They're actually just going to be dead to what we have already, right? So that means we're not going to brick on cards here. Feels like Moto's about to have enough too, so it's a good thing this is our last game. We'll finish the 4-1. That means I 4-1 my last 4 or 5 leagues with this deck. I love this deck. One of the things I really love about this deck, like the things people always compare this deck to are like Storm, obviously. And the thing that I think this deck does genuinely better than Storm is that this deck is much better at playing through graveyard hate. While Fatestitcher is a card that uses our graveyard on occasion, by and large, this deck is not a graveyard combo deck, and you don't need your graveyard to actually win the game most of the time. All right, and there's a silence just so we can again ensure that like no nonsense is going to happen out of their hand. Is timing out an issue? The only time I've ever timed out with this deck was the first league I played it in. The first league I played this deck and I timed out with it. I'm gonna stop looting here. All right, are we done here yet? All right, good chat. I think the wrap up, because I just want to wrap up quickly because I've been streaming for a while. I think I would play this deck list again card for card. I'm really kind of happy with the addition of Engineered Explosives in the deck. It feels very consistent and powerful. I'm kind of upset with myself that I didn't try that sooner. I don't think you need something cute like Retraction Helix to pair with the Engineered Explosives to go infinite, because when Retraction Helix plus Engineered Explosives lets you loop through your deck infinitely, you're probably winning those games anyways. So at any rate, if you're looking for a sweet combo deck, this is the first time you've seen this deck, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. 100% of my streams get archived there. We lost to Jund this league, which Jund is hard. It's harder than Martyr Pyromancer. It's not impossible, but like they have lots of Liliana the Veils, and they have discard, and they just have a lot of things that interact with us on a lot of different angles. At any rate, I will catch all of y'all later. Like I said, a very good chance I'm not going to be on tomorrow during the day because the kids have been sick and I'm going to need to be home with them. But I might try and sneak on tomorrow night if I can't. And I will be on Wednesday morning at the latest. So I'll catch all y'all around. Thanks for the support, as always. Lots of subs and resubs today, and I appreciate it, folks. We finished 4-1. We lost to Jund. And this league will be up on YouTube in a little while. So peace, folks.